That's good. So you can see sort of the framework. If you miss an agenda, if you miss a meeting, all you'll have to do is go to the website and see it there. And we'll keep you informed that way. If there's something that we missed, please let us know. If a number is wrong in a report, please let us know. If something doesn't seem right, please let us know. This next group, next section, I do want to first of all begin by acknowledging the incredible work that Aurora did in the last couple of years, while simultaneously doing quite a few other things for the county. And as you know, I'm speaking of the Mental Health Consortium. So we've asked her to come and to kind of catch us up on the work. Our task is not to reinvent, but to pick up and move forward and refine and operationalize the kinds of things that the consortium spent a tremendous amount of time. But I do want to recognize you, Aurora, so much for all of your work, and particularly, can I have hands of those of you that were on the consortium that were present here? We thank you. Thank you very much. So I thank Aurora. Kind of bring us up to snuff and take all the time in the world she wants, and we thank you, Aurora. All yours.
Thanks. Well, you kind of stole part of what I was going to say, because Commissioner Atkinson is very fond of saying that failure is an orphan, but success has many mothers and fathers. And so the mothers and fathers are out there, the ones that came for 2 years solidly to devote a lot of their intelligence, a lot of their experience with the mentally ill, and their passion for how we were going to change mental health services in Bexar County. In particular, Denise Bennett was the heart and soul of the consortium, because when the Hawk Foundation gave us 2 years worth of money to move this effort forward, Denise was the backbone of that effort. Back there is Judge Oscar Kaysen, who is a supreme man. But also the person who's on front lines of dealing with mental illness and finding creative ways and compassionate ways of getting people in treatment adherence. Sally Taylor, Dr. Sally Taylor, and Lisa Jensen, and Mary Helen Lopez, and Michelle Star-Salazar were all very, very instrumental in teaching me what I needed to know about how to move this forward. And truly, the man who never wants to be recognized as the heart of Bexar County, but truly is John Diaz, because without John, none of it would have been. And I want to thank Gilbert for putting this together, because we are generally just busy doing work and don't take time to shine the light on the work that we do. But in the back of this package is a good jumping off point for the group today, because 2 years worth of work and data went into developing this document, which continues to serve the Department of Community Resources as a guideline for everything that we do, because we don't just look at providing utility assistance and veteran services. Everything that we do with regard to housing, everything that we do with support services, we always have an eye for special targeted populations like the mentally ill. So we set aside funding for housing, and we set aside funding for basic support services, so that when people come through either the magistrate's office and being diverted into treatment, or whether they come from the mental health court or one of the other problem-solving courts, we recognized a long time ago that those wraparound support services like housing, like food, like clothing, like employment are really necessary for folks to stay in treatment adherence. So everything that we've done from the point that the Mental Health Consortium finished its work under the Hawk Foundation has been dedicated toward meeting those gaps and needs in the community. I don't want you all to think that everything came to a screeching halt when the consortium ceased meeting. We took this document and we continued to do very important things. Charlene Doria Ortiz, who's the county's community health manager, instituted a prescription card program. And so we distribute prescription cards everywhere, and we get royalties not kickbacks, royalties from the use of those prescription cards. And with those royalties, we've been able to do some pretty important things. We bought about $10,000 worth of equipment for the club, which is over on Recoleta, and it's a very successful day program for the mentally ill. And it's completely run by the people who would attend that facility. We provided funding for University of Incarnate Word. We gave a very important conference, informational conference on mental health issues and needs for children. And we did the same thing with Clarity. Clarity just had their annual meeting, and we were proud to support that effort. I think when the Center for Healthcare Services put on one of their annual conventions for consumers, we were also a very strong partner in that effort. So the work of the consortium has kind of gone underground, right? But it's continued, and we've continued to use this document as a guidepost for every decision that we make when funding comes around for people. And whenever we need to find funding, we try to develop other resources like the prescription card fund to be able to meet those needs. We have very important work to do, and every piece of information, every thought, every idea that was brought forward under the first iteration of the consortium, I believe, and I think Leon will agree with me, I believe that the information that was in that first strategic plan got translated into millions and millions of dollars of 1115 waiver money. Because when we take a look at those projects that were put forward by University of Health System and by Center for Healthcare Services, it was the work of the consortium that formulated those plans and those projects that went forward. And so I think the other thing that we need to be proud of is the fact that we participated in enrolling so many people in affordable care, because as I was listening to NPR this morning, this is America, right? We want to make bucks. That's what makes America run. Well, now that there's money in behavioral health, Commerce is beginning to take note of that, and they're going to begin to develop services because there's the dollars there that fund the services. And that's the beauty of affordable care, that before mental health was just sort of to the side, and now in everybody's wisdom they see, no, there is no community health, there is no physical health unless you have good mental health. And so I think that's one of the things that you all need to be proud of and focus on laser-like with the work that you're going to do from this point forward. The work of the consortium has translated into getting attention on a lot of different platforms for the mental health needs in the community, and not just by moving people out of jail. I think the consortium at the very beginning said, we have to have good front-end services, we have to have services in the community where people don't have to wait to get in to see a doctor, they don't have to wait to get in to see, to get their medication, they don't have to wait for a crisis to reach proportions and then police get called and other things happen to them. So we've identified good front-end services need to happen, good treatment services, good step-down services, and good follow-along services need to happen. And I think I'm particularly grateful to the Health Collaborative, because they are the entity that develops the community's health improvement plan. And they, for the first time in a very, very, very long time, they focused on mental health as a big community need. So that's all I'm going to say, except to say thank you again to the mothers and the fathers of the first Mental Health Consortium. And next year I want to come back and say thank you to the new mothers and fathers of the next iteration of how we plan for effective mental health services. I especially want to say, I recognize the county judge and the 4 commissioners and the county manager, because without them, without their belief in the work of the consortium, they would not have funded a mental health department. And that's big, to get money out of elected officials. Charlene, do you have a question?
Well, I wanted to make a statement. One of the greatest things that I think came out of the Mental Health Consortium, all of us, is for the very first time, there's now a Bexar County Mental Health Bilingual Resource Guide in English and Spanish. Yes. We've reprinted it twice, and we've disseminated more than 6,000. And I will tell you from my own personal experience, I have handed that out to people who said, I did not know where to go. I did not know how to access care in my own family and in my own social network. And when I handed them the guide, especially for those who cannot speak English, they said, "Está en español?" And I said, "Sí, está en español." So I think it needs to go on the website.
Absolutely.
And I also think it probably needed to be handed out here. It's a beautiful guide. If you've not seen it, or if you've not had access to it, take it out, take copies of it, and get it out in community where it belongs.
Yeah, it is on the county's website, but it's also on the Health Collaborative's bridge. And I guess you're going to put it on your, on the departmental website.
Absolutely.
So,
It's on the NAMI website too, but you
Yes.
probably need to make sure it's got the updates, the correct updates on it.
Yeah, y son medical services website.
Officer,
I wanted to get a stack of those back here so I can implement that into our next
you
meeting.
came to the right place. That woman right there will hunt you down to get them for you.
It's already started.
Okay. All right. Are there any
The
other questions
connections.
or anything?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.